Hello, and welcome to our lesson on developing the schedule part 2. This segment will continue to cover defining the critical path. In a typical application of CPM, the identified critical path emerges as the most extended sequence of activities, ultimately dictating the shortest feasible project duration. This critical path is characterized by having the least total float, equating to 0. The early and late start and finish dates do not precisely define the project schedule, but indicate the permissible timeframes for executing activities. The critical path method is instrumental in calculating critical paths and determining the total and free float or schedule flexibility on logical network paths within the schedule model. Total float, or schedule flexibility, signifies the duration by which a scheduled activity can be delayed or extended from its early start date without causing delays to the project finish date or violating any schedule constraints. Typically, a critical path exhibits 0 total float. They mean that delays in critical path activities will delay the project. Moreover, there may be more than one critical path, all having the most extended duration, in a project, making it more complex and bearing a higher degree of risk. Modern project management software calculates and determines the critical path. In the below example of a schedule network diagram, there are two paths. Path 1, ABD, and Path 2, ACD. The path duration is the sum of the durations of all the activities in this path. Path 1, ABD, has a duration of 20 days. Path 2, ACD, has a duration of 25 days. Since ACD has the highest duration, it is the critical path, and the minimum duration this project can finish is 25 days. All activities on the critical path have a float of 0. Calculations of early start, early finish, late start, late finish, and float are shown for each activity. Activity B is not on the critical path and has a float of 5 days, meaning that it can start late or be delayed by up to 5 days without impacting the project's overall duration. Determining and knowing the critical path is crucial for project managers to manage projects effectively. Some of the key reasons why identifying the critical path is important are: 1. Project duration planning. The critical path identifies a project's most extended sequence of dependent activities. This sequence determines the minimum duration required to complete the project. Knowing the critical path helps project managers establish a realistic and achievable project timeline. 2. Schedule optimization. Understanding the critical path allows project managers to focus on the activities that directly impact the project's duration. Managers can ensure efficient resource allocation and schedule adherence by optimizing the sequence and duration of critical path activities. 3. Resource allocation. The critical path highlights activities with 0 float or slack, meaning any delay in these activities will directly extend the project's completion time. Project managers can allocate resources more efficiently by prioritizing critical path activities, ensuring that the necessary resources are available when needed. 4. Risk management. The critical path is inherently associated with project risks. Delays in essential activities of the path directly impact the project's finish date. Identifying and closely monitoring the critical path helps project managers proactively manage and mitigate risks, ensuring the project stays on track. 5. Project control and monitoring. The critical path serves as a baseline for project control and monitoring. Project managers can track the progress of essential activities of the path, compare actual performance against the planned schedule, and take corrective actions if deviations occur. This proactive approach enhances overall project control. 6. Project communication. Communicating the critical path to stakeholders, team members, and other relevant parties fosters a shared understanding of the project's crucial elements. It enables effective communication regarding potential delays, resource needs, and project milestones, aligning everyone with the project's goals. 7. Decision-making. Knowledge of the critical path empowers project managers to make informed decisions. When faced with schedule constraints, resource limitations, or changes in project scope, managers can assess the impact on the critical path and make decisions that align with project objectives and deadlines. 8. Time and cost. Management. Efficient time management is critical for project success. By focusing on the critical path, project managers can allocate resources judiciously, avoid unnecessary delays, and manage costs effectively. This contributes to meeting project milestones within budget constraints. Determining the critical path guides planning and resource allocation and enhances the project manager's ability to control, monitor, and communicate project progress. The critical path is valuable for aligning project activities with organizational goals and ensuring successful project outcomes. Now that most of our schedule components are complete, the project manager should consolidate all elements into a visual representation of the project schedule and work to analyze and optimize the schedule through resources optimization and schedule compression techniques to produce a complete schedule that meets project objectives and serves as the basis for managing, monitoring, and controlling project time. The following lecture will cover developing the complete schedule, optimization, and compression techniques, and creating the schedule baseline. This is the end of our lesson. This course is presented to you by South Europe College. Thank you for listening and see you on our next lesson.